withstand. Don't know how much else I can withstand. Don't know how much else I can withstand.
I am sipping Delmore 12 years. Alright, let's turn the music down and get started. How's everyone loving the new features? Wanted to get those out before it went live, so sorry I was a little delayed. Wanted to make sure if you had questions we could talk about them on here. I think 427 is reasonable. Yeah, that's kind of where I got the futures going here. I think we chop up to the top of this rising wedge. I don't think we get to the end, but somewhere in between here we'll ping the top in reverse. It's either that or we do... Shoot, I mean, it's either that or we do one of these. This is possible too. Alright, so we got about 150 people here. Should we start with the Baba Lotto and kind of go through that? How's the music? Is it too loud? Should I turn it down? Should I turn it up? Turn it down just. I'll turn it down just a little bit. Can't turn it down much more. I mean, it's at 1%. If it's too loud, then you got speaker issues. Oh. All right, so I've been following Baba for years, literally since it was like $100 a share, and I've never seen a better opportunity than now for it. Like, I've been watching it forever, and I was like, when is it time to go in? And, you know, you had China coming across. The big thing is, like, Baba was on a tear up until October of last year. You know, it went from 170 to 320 in literally 6 months. So it went up $150. Now, I'm not saying it's going to do that again, but it could. You know, if it does, that would take us to about 260. So, you know, that's where I got that up here. That's right up here. So 260. So I have a couple things measured out here I'm going to talk about. I'm going to go into how I came up with this lottery play, and it is, I want you to know, it is a lottery play. So, you know, it's a spread. You could do different things with it. Jack Ma is not missing. He is not missing. He's come out multiple times in the public, and he's golfed and everything. So, so why is this grabbing my attention now? There's a couple things going on for it. One, yeah, they definitely found him, and he's definitely public again. So, one, I've been seeing a lot of large multi-million-dollar call flows coming in for Baba in the last 2 weeks. People are putting a lot of money into leaps on Baba, and you know we've seen this in our software in the leap spread room. A bunch of Baba alerts have been coming out. On top of that, the chart it's at support. So I mean, fundamentally, Baba's very compared to its peers is very under fundamentally valued. But taking in the sentiment, taking in the overall arcing story of Baba is what you need to understand. And Baba's kind of been on this uptrend here, and it has this support line here, which is never broken. And it just tapped it recently on earnings. You can see this earnings right here with this red line. So earnings literally wicked it and bounced from 204 all the way up to 223. So it bounced hard. So this is another version of a bearish reversal bump and run. So I've been talking about these today. I've mentioned them before, but I haven't really ever gone in depth on them. So a bearish reversal bump and run is when you have a clear downtrend line, and it happened here. So this is the last time it happened. So when you have a gap down and then a higher low below a downtrend, and I'll have to cover HYG after the lesson, Ryan. So just give me, I'll come back to it. So, so when you have a clear trend and then you have a bump below and then a higher low below it and then we break above it, you can see a stock go absolutely nuts. So this is what's happening right here, is you have higher lows and higher highs on this uptrend here. But we do have this overarching downtrend over here. So what I have here, and you can see this, there's a little clock here. So you can see I already have the alert set up, and I gave myself it's not quite on the downtrend, it's a little above it. So hopefully we don't get wicked out of it. We give ourselves a little bit of leeway. So when we know it breaks this, it's a confirmation. Because we don't care if it breaks it at 215, 216, 217. Our goal is to get to 350 or over 300, somewhere back up in the 300 to 350 range. So, what's up, Tufan? So our goal is to get over this line, and then we go in right around here, around 215 to 220 in that round. So between 215 and 220, a couple bucks for the long term. On a long term play like this, $1 to $3, $1 to $4 in the grand scheme of things isn't gonna matter. What we care about is that $100 move that it could potentially make. So if we see this falling wedge here finally reverse, it might go down to 207 and then cross 209 and go over, and that's fine. That's a better entry anyways. So this is already set up in the lottery room, so we will catch this when the alert goes off, and I will absolutely put a couple $1,000s into this, because this is a $4,000 or $5,000 move waiting to happen if it plays out. So let's talk the strategy of it. So the idea was, I'm just gonna illustrate this. So we have a 310. So we have a 310 call. So let's just make these white. So let's make them color yellow. Is yellow gonna stand out? All right. So let's make them yellow. They'll stand out that way. So we buy the 310. We sell the 350. We'll turn this red for sell. So this is a call debit spread. It cost $100 to enter the spread. A $40 spread cost you $100, and you could potentially make $4,000 off of it if this spread works out. Now, how did I come up with these timetables? Let me express that to you. So if you notice here, the top of the trend to the bottom of the trend is almost exactly, this is when the expiration is. That's why I have it there. So top of the trend and bottom of the trend. So the length it took it from to go to the top to the bottom, and really it only took, it really only took 2 months to go from top to the bottom. So this could go top to bottom in 2 months, and that would be awesome. So the idea is to get the January 2022 6-month out calls on this, and you buy the 310, and you could get literally a 300 call for like $250. So you could just go naked 300s if you wanted. You don't have to do the spread if you don't want to, but the spread allows you to do something different than the naked 300s. And you can do it both ways. I mean, I'm going to talk about this. So there's poor man covered call options. This is kind of a version of it. This is a spread that you can play from now until the end of it. So I'm just gonna draw out some hypothetical patterns here, and then we're gonna go over what you could do based on these hypothetical patterns. So let's say we get in. Okay, so let's say it breaks out here, and then retest, and we buy on the retest right here. And then we see it go up to resistance and fill this gap here again. So I'm just going to pause right here. So this is what we call making your money work for you. So I'm gonna type the play out, and we're gonna go over it. So you buy to open 310 Jan. What's the exact date? Let me just get that real quick. Is it like Jan 16th? January 21st. So the January 21st 300 call at this moment that we're talking this cost $255 a contract. You sell to open the 350 Jan 21st 2022 contract. Whoops. And that costs 98 cents right now. Or let's see, hold on. Okay. So this is going to cost you so you receive this as a credit. And this is a debit. Alright, my math was a little bit off on the thing. So it cost $167. If I can figure out. Per spread for a max profit of $4,000. There we go. 106. All right, sorry, you're right. Not 167, 157. It's the whiskey, I tell you. I promise you, I went to school. We'll put that over here. All right, so this is the idea here. I mean, you can easily do a naked 300. Wait, why is this? Sorry, the 310 call costs 206. I'm looking at the 300. I have this wrong. So this costs 206. I was right the entire time. So this costs $108. There we go. Sorry about that. So $108 for a max profit of $4,000. There we go. So this is the spread idea. The idea is whenever I design these lottos, I try to keep them around $100. So $38.92. All right, let's put that in there. Let's just be safe. There you go. Thank you, Sud. But, I mean, we all understand the idea of it, right? You're risking a little for a lot. It's obviously a long-term play that I haven't done something like this in a very long time. I think silver was the last time I did something like this, and that didn't work out to plan yet. I think lumber, we did something like this. And be honest, the lumber one worked out. I mean, they both were profitable if you took profits early, but in the long run, they didn't work out. This is a little different. Not an ETF, so. Now, Yunjin, this is the 310 to 350. You can do the 300 to 350 for the 158, and that would be 4,800. So. Yeah, you only get it if it expires fully in the money. Now, here's how you make more than the 38.92, and this is what I was trying to get to before. So, let's say this is the debit, and here's where we go. So, this is what happens. So, let's say we enter. So, let's say we enter. We see it break out. We enter here. And we see this resistance here. So we see this resistance here. And this goes down a little. So this rejects here. What we could do is right here. We buy this back right here. So we buy this back. Wait, no. That's not right. No, that's not right. I've been drinking. Hold on. Alright, so what we would do here. Okay, so let's say. Oh, okay, hold on. So we enter here. And we see. No, I just had it backwards. Sorry about this. Okay. So we enter here. And we see it bounce here. There you go. So we see it here. Right here. So right here, we then buy this back. So when this happens right here, when this bounces right here, we buy this back right here. So then this is naked here. So then it's a naked. We get all the profits going up with none of the downside. Then when we see right here, we resell this. So this is, let me type this out. So this is, we buy back our sell leg right here. This is using TA. If you're not very familiar or don't feel confident in TA, you could just keep the spread and never worry about it. But this is how you can make additional profits. So I'm just trying to say, like, this is how you make your way, this is how you maximize your profits on the way up. So you could actually make over $10,000 plus on this $100 option on the way up, back and forth. So let's say, like, you resell this, and this goes back down to here. So let's say this is where it bounces. And then it goes back up here. Then when it bounces on this support, alright, so this is just trying to color coordinate this for you so it makes sense. Alright, there we go. Yeah, my brain's not working properly. I promise you this is legit though. Alright, so the idea is you sell your the sell to open part of your spread at the tops, and you buy them back at the bottoms. Now, it's not always perfect, obviously, but it allows you to play something every day on a leap. And you can do this with anything. It doesn't have to be BABA. Like, this is just an overall lesson on how to do this. This is just a vehicle to tell you how to do it. So if you do your homework and you chart it out properly and you have in your charts working, you can make a substantial amount of money on a $100 play, to be honest with you. So, does this make sense? It doesn't count as a day trade either. That's the best part. You can do this every day, and it doesn't count as a day trade. So let's say this is a 1 day where it goes up, or let's say this is 1 day. So you buy it back here, and then you resell it here. So what you would do, if this was the same day where you bought your leg back, so let's say right here, this was the 350. This was the same day. Let's say you wanted to resell this the same day. You would just resell, instead of the 350, maybe you resell the 345. So that way it's not the same option, and it does not count as a day trade. So you can resell the 350 if that's what you want. It doesn't matter. Like, you could sell the 310 and get even higher, 305. You just need to sell something high, or the 315, 320. You could sell something higher and go in and out. So let's say the 350 is what you do to begin with, so that you have that. And then when it goes higher and you think it's done, you could sell literally the strike above yours for maximum profit, and it goes down, and then you buy that back for a much lower cost, and you make more money that way. That is absolutely a thing you can do. If you're absolutely positive this is like, you did your fibs, you did all of your extensions, all the lessons and everything, this tells you this is the top for the short term, you could easily make this a 315 to get a larger credit, to get more money back and make more profit on this easily. And then here, you know, you buy back your sell leg, so you resell your sell leg, and then you buy it back here. So you could, it doesn't matter what this leg is. All that matters is, you know, it's a low profit to begin with. So yeah, I definitely suggest having the spread over any weekend, but you can do this intra-week pretty easily. Alright. So that is my exclamation on the spreads. Bulldog. I mean, I make a video, everything on it, and you're still confused. Why don't you ask me more specific questions instead of having me start over? So, Warren, if you have more capital, I would buy a 250 leap. 200. I would buy something near the money. Like, literally just buy like anywhere between 200 and 250 on it, and I would suggest a 250 due to the OI. But you cannot do this on Weeble, by the way. You cannot do it on Weeble. You have to be so. Yeah, Bulldog, if you want to talk about it in the server, I mean, I get it can be confusing, but I can't go over it like multiple times on live. It's... I don't use Tastyworks, so someone else would have to use that answer that question. Yeah, I have videos on general call or covered calls. If you don't understand it, just get the spread and don't worry about it. I just like the stock. That's not financial advice. All right, let's move on. Let's pick a chart here. Let's go with EA. What is EA doing? Is this thing not gonna go nuts? Like, yeah, so Taylor, the second method would make more than having just, like, you would make the most having a naked call In theory, the spread would be the safest risk factor, but the way I just showed you would make you the most overall, because you get the benefits of both. So what is going on with EA, right? Like, this is like a cup, smaller, 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 smaller. Like, this thing is primed to the max, in my opinion. Like, this thing's gonna go nuts soon. It has to, right? Right? I don't know. Like, I think this is one of the best plays of the week to get into long term. Is literally a 2-year formation about to break out. Now, here's the thing you have to understand. You have this uptrend here, and you have this resistance up here. You only have, I mean, this could go literally to September, so this could go another 3 months and do nothing, which is really annoying. But you need to have it on your radar now, so that when it happens, you can catch it. And that's why I'm talking about it. So you need to have it on your radar now, because if this happens, this could go literally from, it could go to $235. So if the cup and handle theory plays out. So the cup and handle theory says the base of the cup to the top of the cup will be how the extension plays out over time. So that would put us at 230. And if you caught that move, that would be one incredible move. So, something to consider. Put it in your long term. I like the stock. Alright, let's go to Roku. Roku is very good for well, yeah, we don't need to worry about Super Fortuna, but she did call Roku at 309, and it went to 358. But, alright, so the nice thing about Roku is it's very Elliot wave friendly. So there's a couple different things you need to know about Elliot wave. And I had this requested, so I'm going to go over it. The general rule is each wave needs to be its own movement. So what that means is like, for instance, like if this was a wave, it needs to be a channel. And then if this is a wave, it needs to be a channel, if that makes sense. So you know, if that's the channel, that's one wave, and that's one wave. And you're looking for impulses. So for me, what I'm looking for is, what is the first impulse wave on this? There's so many rules to Elliott waves, I would suggest watching videos on it. I can cover a little bit on this. I don't have a ton of time tonight, but I'll go over some general principles. I mean, the general rule is you look for a breakout on this. And so for me, like, I'm looking at this, and this looks like the breakout right here. So I'm looking for a flat formation and a general breakout to start an impulse move. And so an impulse move for me would have started right here. And then you're looking for 3 waves up with 2 retracement waves. I'm not going to forget about HYG, but I did have 2 things I wanted to get through in my lessons tonight. So there's your first wave. It's clear wave, 1 impulse move up, 1 impulse move down, and then you have an ABC right here, and the next wave starts right here. Really, it starts right here, and that's your last move right there. And then what you're getting right here is kind of an ABC top here. So this is a corrective move up, but it's a lesser known one, but it is an end of a kind of a cycle. So this actually went through a super cycle all the way up. Avery's got some good Avery's got some good ones, and you'd probably have to use log to see these better. Yeah, that looks right. But now you got corrective waves down, so you got clear waves up, and now you have your corrective waves down. So the other general rule is you have alternating rule of alternation. So you're going to have, if it's a steep, you're going to have a flat for the next correction. So let's say this is your corrective wave here, 5 waves down. So you always have 5, 3, 5. So you can see here you had 5 waves up, a correction 3, and then you have 5 waves down. This is a double combo correction down, and then you have 3 waves up, and then 5 waves down. So here you'll have an ABC up, and then an ABCDE down. Now, I think we're starting not positive on this one. I'm wondering if this was it right there. Let's look at the 1 hour. Hold on. Yeah, I don't love EA either, by the way. The chart looks pretty. I don't love the company. Yeah, so you got a flat to a sharp, but this is like a truncated sharp. So now you have what could be this is interesting. This could be a 5 waves up, which makes me wonder. I have to go much more in depth on this one, but I'm just trying to do these like really quickly. This is an ABC up starting right here. That would put us like right here maybe. So I'd put Roku around 400. Probably retesting all these resistances and supports right here. 399. Yeah, I don't hate that idea. Alright, so, I mean, I don't know if you have questions on... Yeah, I mean, Neo has gaps, but they've all been filled before. There's no open gaps on Neo. So, or not Neo, there's no open gaps on Roku, so... let's go 15 minutes of requests. So I had HYG puts as a... that's not it. HYG puts as a request. We'll just look at the OI on HYG. Yeah, there is. Wow. That is some insane open interest in puts. I haven't looked at this. Like, that's like 90 to 1, like, with millions of puts. Ryan, this is a good catch. I'm gonna do some serious looking on this right now. So I see something immediately which interests me, and so I can easily see. Yeah, I use the eclipse, but this is like a diamond. So this is a diamond reversal, which is interesting. Just wondering, like, that means this would be an ABC up. Does that mean this is coming down to 87.29? I mean, that's not even, like, it's not even down that much. Like, so Patrick, what did you mention? I mean, is a HYG. Okay. I mean, it's just not something I follow very often, to be honest with you. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but it's definitely interesting. Let's get rid of all these things and look at the overarching picture on it. I mean, this has been going on for quite a while. If we call this the start of the move here, then this would be a truncated wave 5. So let's say, okay, so let's say this is the start of the move here. And that would put it there. The truncated wave 5 is no bueno. Because let's say this is the 1 through 5 here. Or let's call this the wave 5. Hold on 1 second. Let's call that the wave 1's. Well, no, because that doesn't work either. It has to be right here. Because this can't come below that. So that has to be right there. Okay. So this is the ABC right there. Alright, that could work. Alright, so this is a truncated wave 5, which means it doesn't come above the wave 3. This means we could come all the way back down here to 83. So then you'd be looking at something like maybe like that on the HYG. I mean, if that can't get over 8770, 8775 in that range, like 8780, like I see zero reason to play calls on this, but if this breaks this uptrend, it's gonna be nasty. Alright. So, that's my thought on HYG. Let's do a couple more. Stock U. Well, I was a little off on this. I had the idea right. I just needed to move it up a little. And the timeline. I'm going to keep my price target the same. Alright, so I had the idea right, you know, and that's the thing, like, it's more about the price action than it is the timing. Like, timing is so hard sometimes. Like, if you had a time machine and you knew exactly when things are happening, you wouldn't need to worry about anything else. So, what we care about is price action, and that's what, like, everything else goes with. So, price action is like, is this going to fill the gap to 260, 264? I think it is. I mean, it ended literally at the high of the day on a huge volume candle. And so this tells me this is not done. And this is a wave 2 of an impulse wave, or wave 3 of an impulse wave. So if now that we know the movement, we can project the target. So then that means this is probably retesting all-time highs. It's probably going to hit 282. I think 282 is very reasonable. I mean, it broke... Hold on. This line is going to be the hardest line. It won't break it on the first attempt. Yeah, I think 265. First attempt. Then it kind of does one of these in between here. Then it re-goes to all-time highs for that wave 5. That makes sense to me. So you get your wave 3 here, and your wave 5 up here. But this wave 3 would be small compared to there. And that's what's got me hung up on this. Is that wave 3 is too small for this move to play out. That's why I'm wondering, do we just go right by this downtrend? Because the downtrend, you know, maybe we go up here, and then this wave goes down here. And we do something like that. So we blow right through it, and we have an aggressive sell-off right back down to it. That would be interesting. I'm going to keep this one on watch. I think this is one worth watching. Alright, people want to see Apple. Let's do Apple. Oh. Charts hit perfect. Secret play of the week. It was secret play of the week last week, and literally hit my wick and rejected twice. I don't know why Apple has this problem with like the 180, like the mid 128s, but it does. So now we know 128.50 is the high mark on this. So this is creating a wave 4 right now of an impulse move. Fairly certain. So the wicks come above and below the points, but This looks like a flat wave 4, impulse move 2, 3, 4. If that's true, that would put our 5 at... I'm gonna go with this gap fill. Doesn't have to fill the gap. But this would be my target zone up here. 131 to 132 and a quarter. So I think this, if you're bullish on this, I think that's the likely target on it. So just reading through some messages here. Alright. I have been getting a lot of requests for JPM. So I'm gonna do JPM. Apparently I had JPM. Alright, this is not working out. So I had everything right here. This is interesting. So you had everything part of it. So this is, we gotta really evaluate this. Now, why did that work out? Yeah, I mean, I'm not right every time, Warren, by easily, but I mean, the count looks like it should have worked out. So that means I had this part wrong. So that means I counted this wrong. So this... Okay, so this was wave 1. I think I see what I did wrong. That's wave 2. That's wave 4. Okay, I got it now. Alright. So then what... Looking back on it, and this is like the problem with Elliot waves, it's like, alright, you go back when you're wrong, and you can always make yourself look right. Which is why I try to call it, use it to determine price action, not necessarily like a set in stone thing. So the fifth was a small one right there. So alright, now that would make sense that we had an ABC, unless it was just an ABC up, but so this is a clear channel down. Every wave has to have its own channel. So that would maybe mean we do something like this. So we start the week out. You have a couple things going on with JPM. So you have the stress test here, and you got dividend here. So you could be bearish into the stress test, maybe. I mean, no good news. Only bad news can come out of this stress test. So, the reason why the stress tests previously were so bullish, and we played bull side on them, is because the stocks were so undervalued. Now the stocks are at all-time highs. So, for me, like, stress test is only bad news. Like, there's not a whole lot of upside anymore like there was back earlier this year on the stress test. So, yeah. What kind of news would kill the market? FOMAC on Wednesday. If they decided to raise interest rates, it would destroy the markets. Absolutely destroy them. So, yeah. Alright, let's look at futures. I have a lot of work to get done tonight. To be honest with you, I have a lot of alerts to set. I have like 15 different stocks I got to chart, and I'll post those in the server. So I'm gonna end up here. I hope these lessons helped you, but I'm gonna be honest with you. This futures is I don't love this, to be honest with you. I will tell you a secret before I leave, though. So, this looks terrible in terms of the overall formation. If we ignore this whole left half, this does look like a bull pennant, bull flag on the right half. So, oh, I didn't do Corsair and AMC. Alright, let's do Corsair and AMC. It's in my title. I gotta do it. Yeah, you're right. Absolutely. 100%. Absolutely. This looks amazeballs, by the way. What we need to see is the AH9 chart right now. Let's go to Germany, see what this is doing. So Germany went nuts today. So this would put us at around, I think I was hearing $51, $52. So this would put us up here. So that means we're going to open in this range, which makes sense to me, to be honest with you, because look at this. If you're looking at this downtrend, so this is your downtrend right here, right? So you're saying, alright, this is your downtrend. Generally, when you're at the downtrend, if you break it, you gap up the next day. So you gap up here, and then you consolidate in here, and then you break out. Now, it could also gap up and come right back down and retrace. And at that point would be your, if you're not in AMC, that would be the point where you get in. What you would hope for is it holds that gap, and that's a breakaway gap. So there's different types of gaps. Obviously, we've talked about that in the past. So you have your gap, your breakaway gaps, which is what you're hoping for right here. If this opens up according to Germany, this would be a breakaway gap. It holds that and then breaks away from the opening price and gets above that. That's a breakaway gap. Now, if it falls below the opening price, then it's going to fill the gap to maybe right here. Then you can, if it bounces there, that's where you get in. So you got your red path and you got your green path. Alright, let's look at Corsair. So this was, I want everyone to know this was absolutely on our radar, and we called this out to all of our subscribers last week. So all of our subscribers are already in this because we were already aware of this before Wall Street Bets was on it. We saw the gap here. We were aware of it. We were excited for it. We got in around basically where it's at right now. So what we saw was this gap here, so we alerted on the breakout over 32.50. So a lot of people are down like $1 or $2 on their calls, which is like 1%. Not a big deal. What we really care, and the big thing is look at this. So look at this perfect bull flag. Like, this is going to go nuts tomorrow. It's going to go nuts tomorrow. I'm not setting another alert unless it's got this clear uptrend here that's been resisting. I have a feeling it's going to gap above this and open above 33, and it's going to fill the gap tomorrow and possibly break out to $35. So I think this red line up here is a very solid price target around 34.80, and it could go even higher. I mean, the thing with Corsair is fundamentally it's been going bananas. Like at a 19.5, 28 PE, it's 50%, 70% below SPY right now. So if you were to do that way, if you just were to rate it versus SPY and have it be a PE versus SPY, it's a $50 stock easily. Now, if you look at the statistics quarterly, 21 PE ratio, historically is fairly valued. Current ratio good. Quick ratio could be better. Enterprise to beta could be better, but it is getting better. I just think typically I like to see this under 10. Cash flow, fantastic. Balance sheet is amazing. Book value, it's there. It's right there where we'd like to see it. Yeah, I mean, fundamentally, this is a solid stock to go long on. And there's rumors that it could potentially get taken over. I see no reason why this couldn't get back to $50. So you have the all-time high here, 51.53. If we were to look at the hourly, I see no reason why it couldn't get. Like, if it gets over 35, 36 bucks, it's probably going back up there. So Corsair looks really good. I can see why Wall Street Bets likes it. Fundamentally is there. Everything is there. So yeah, Bulldog, you could easily get a $25, $30 leap in the money on it. I would get it sooner than later, because if it does have the Wall Street Bet effect on it, those IVs are gonna pump hard. Yeah. Alright. That's gonna do it for me, but I hope you enjoyed the class. We went for about an hour tonight. If you did enjoy the class, all I like is that you give me a thumbs up, give me a like. That's all I want. I like to know that you enjoyed it. Seeing the likes is what motivates me to continue to do this. If you're not in the Discord, join the Discord. It's free. I hang out in all the channels. We do have a paid part of the Discord, but it's not necessary. So, yeah. Hopefully y'all have a great weekend, and thanks for joining me.